Hey, welcome to another episode of It Resolves. My name is Kevin.
My name is Will.
And we are here with another fun-filled, casual kitchen table format day.
An exciting Thursday episode.
Yeah, we are super excited. We did want to give a quick shout out. If you love this content, even if you only like it a little.
Yes, if it tickles you.
If it tickles you.
I don't...
We'll let that one go. If you enjoy the content on any level, whether you're listening on YouTube, on the podcast app, wherever, even on Instagram, we've got a lot of content over there also.
That's true.
Consider subscribing, consider following. We really appreciate it. We'd love to hear your feedback also.
Yeah, please tell us things that you like about what we're doing, things you don't like, things you want to see.
Yeah.
We're just figuring stuff out right now.
Yeah.
I think we have a good formula. But,
yeah, I think we've got a good start, but we do want to hear what you guys have to say. Wow, have to think. We have gotten a little bit of feedback. We don't encourage that. We don't do it. We have gotten a little bit of feedback, all great so far. A few suggestions, and for segments like the Kiki Weekly or anything like that, we do encourage you to post your combos, post your ideas for combos or whatever you happen to find, and we'll probably use it as a segment piece. So we do appreciate that, and look forward to your subscription. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. And welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family. Because I accidentally did the subscribe part, why don't you do the card of the day?
I would love to.
How about that?
That sounds great. Okay. This one?
Command R.
Oh, sweet. You and your Macs.
Now everybody knows we're using a Mac.
Wow. Kevin's using a Mac. I don't support it. All right. So card of the day. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Curse of Bloodletting. This might be our first rare, actually.
No, second.
Oh, excuse me. Enchant player. For 3 colorless, 2 red. Enchant player. If a source would deal damage to enchanted player, deals double damage to that player instead.
Yes.
And yeah, that's awesome.
I love this card. It's from Dark Ascension. It's not really... when I say constructed playable, I mean not like modern or anything like that,
No.
but it is like commander format. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you can do a lot of cool stuff with that. I really like this card.
Yeah, it's solid.
It's a good one.
I don't remember seeing a lot of it in standard. It's pretty expensive for an enchantment. It just seems kind of slow.
Well, and it's worth saying too, because it's so slow and it's in red, it seems a little counterintuitive. Like you'd hope in red you'd kill them before you could really even play this.
But in the Innistrad block though, I think that's when they introduced the curses.
I believe
aura.
so.
There were a lot of them. I like Curse of the Pierced Heart, something like that.
Sure.
It dealt
that one.
A damage at upkeep and end step, or just one of them. I don't remember what. Curse of the Pierced Heart, and it was at upkeep. Deals the damage. So, it's an enchantment.
That's
for 2.
cool.
Yeah.
For 2?
Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
It's neat.
I like it. No, I do like the curses also, actually, quite a lot. Not a lot of them were like amazing, but they were really cool. And I think in a format like Commander, you can really get your money's worth out of these for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, it seems great for Commander.
Yeah.
Probably a Prosh deck would love Curse of Bloodletting.
Yes, that's true.
Anything that runs Perforos,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Anything that gets like excess damage in somehow, gutter snipe stuff.
Yeah,
anything like that.
Cool.
Very cool card of the day. Our second rare. Don't get it wrong.
What was our first rare?
Spark Trooper.
It is a rare. You're right. I'm sorry.
Way to care about the show, Will.
Sorry, Spark Trooper.
So as we said in the intro, this is the casual kitchen table format day. What we did this past week is we sort of set up 2 segments for this show. One was just like we picked cool decks that we wanted to make.
Yeah.
And played with them, just standard 60 card decks.
Yeah.
When I say standard, I don't mean format standard.
No.
And then the second one we'll get to in a little bit, but it's a cubelet, which if you don't know what that is, stick around.
It's exciting.
It was really fun.
We had a great
loved
time
it.
With that. Yeah, but we each made 2 decks, like Kevin said. Kevin, why don't you? What was the theme?
So the theme of my deck, if you're following us on Instagram, you might have seen the post with Teferi's Puzzle Box.
Yes.
Which obviously the combo being Teferi's Puzzle Box and Leovold, which was recently banned, sad day, in Commander. Which actually that's like the best thing that could have happened.
Well, true.
But it was recently banned, and I thought I'm gonna pick up some of these puzzle boxes and see if I can make just a casual deck out of it. Just see what I can do. I won't say exactly how the games went yet.
Sure.
But to give you an idea, I had obviously 4 Leovolds, 4 puzzle boxes. I had a Jace Mind Sculptor, a good bit of ramp, because I was trying to ramp out the puzzle boxes. It was Bug. Obviously, Leovold is black, blue, and green, which is Bug colors. Also Sultai for newer players, but no, it's Bug.
It's always Bug.
Yeah, so I whipped that deck up. I had a little bit of card draw, not a ton. And I was running something like 16 lands. It was like a very low. It felt more like a legacy deck, as far as the build order goes, with sort of how many lands versus how many spells.
Ooh, build order. Good StarCraft terms there, buddy.
StarCraft terms, because I've played that before. I haven't played that before.
Way to alienate half of our. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, that's fine if you play it. I'm happy if anybody out there plays it. Tell me to play it. I might.
Kevin, play it.
I need them to tell me to play it.
Oh, darn
I don't need you. But really the goal of the deck was to get out the combo. There were a few other, small pieces there, interactions, things like Abrupt Decay to sort of deal with some small threats, some of the early threats.
Sure.
And then just Shardless Agent into, Baleful Strix. Couldn't think of the card. To get card advantage, also to get creature advantage fairly quickly was also the goal.
Gotcha.
And so it felt like a shardless bug deck. If you play Legacy or if you've seen the Legacy decks, you probably know about shardless bug. And it felt a lot like that, just with sort of more Leovolds in the puzzle box in there. So it was pretty cool. Before we get into how things went, how about we hear about your deck, Will?
All right, so I didn't make this deck for any particular reason other than I wanted to make a fun control deck.
Yeah, a fun control deck.
Fun for me. So we whenever we make random decks to play with, we pull up a page that's a random color generator to generate our colors. I got Orzhov.
I got Gruul.
Yes, he did. And then while we were pulling stuff out, Kevin, that is, mentioned, hey, I got these puzzle boxes. I really want to play Bug. And he just kind of looked at me with these puppy dog eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, if I can play Esper.
Yeah, which made me a little sad, but I was like, it's worth it. I want to see if this works.
So then I built an Esper control deck.
Which, as everybody knows, is amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, my thought with the deck was I'll use Mentor as my win condition and protect Mentor with everything else.
Yep.
So that's basically what I did. I put, I think, 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Inquisitions, a lot of cantrips, really cheap things to draw cards, make Mentor tokens, make Mentor big.
Yep.
Also had Spell Queller, and I think 4 counter spells. Just, again, protect Mentor. Ashiok to pull things, get some more value.
Yeah.
Actually got a Shardless Agent. That was just fun.
Yeah, great. So glad you did that.
I also had a Jace, because if you're in blue and you have a Jace, you should probably...
You always play it.
Yeah.
Specifically Mind Sculptor, not the other ones.
Yep. It was really just a bunch of good stuff. Esper good stuff, I guess.
It was Esper good stuff. It was a great control deck. It
was
did
really
fantastic.
solid.
We'll just go ahead and state,
Sure.
For the record.
Sure.
How many games did we play? I think it was 5. 4 or 5 with these 2 decks.
Yeah, about that many.
And one of us won them all, and one of us wasn't me. So
what a great way to say that.
Yeah, I did real bad. I'm gonna go ahead and say my issue.
Sure.
Because there were 2 issues.
Okay.
First of which, not enough card draw.
No.
Not nearly enough. I should have had a lot more cantrips in there to sort of get to the combo pieces. Yeah. I mean, that's what you do in a combo deck. I was sort of going for a combo, but sort of a mid-range deck also.
Okay.
Like, I think I was just jam-packing too much into one deck. So it didn't work as well for that reason. The other reason is I did have Mana Ramp, but it was in the form of Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, stuff that produces colorless mana.
Right.
Which is fine for the puzzle box.
Definitely.
But that's only 4 cards out of a 60-card deck.
Yeah.
And so what I ended up running into was I would have all the ramp I could ever use, but nothing to play with it because I didn't find my colors. I did run fetch lands and things like that, and we don't have actual dual lands, so we ran shock lands, and then some other dual lands, fast lands and things like that.
Right.
And I was able to get my colors eventually, but it was just too slow. Once I did get them, I mean, you were set up with what you needed. So
yeah, I will say if I didn't have Mentor, if Mentor wasn't my win con, and it is fair to note, Mentor is so fast.
Oh, Mentor's amazing.
Yeah, especially in a deck that has like draw spells and all this stuff, cantrips you can play for free. It's just so quick. If you're behind a Mentor deck, next turn you might just not.
Yeah, you really. Yeah. I mean, it's really easy to underestimate how much damage you're gonna be taking. Because even if they have 3 or 4 mana up, that's 3 or 4 spells that gives them 3 or 4 guys plus exponentially more power on the field because of prowess triggers. So,
which they can do at their end step if they want.
Yeah, I mean, they can do that anytime.
If it's all draw, then they've just refilled their hand.
Exactly. So it puts the control player in such a great position, and I just got outraced is what it amounts to. And I did not build my deck appropriately.
Well, I think it would have worked, like you said, with more card draw. And I think you probably could have done without Mana Crypt.
Probably,
if that's my
I like diagnosis. It's worth noting too, at one point I don't think I might have died to Mana Crypt. I think one game I got very close if I didn't. And if you don't know, it deals 3 damage to you every turn if you lose a coin flip.
Right.
And I actually did really well on the coin flips. At one point I got like more 3 or 4 heads in the row, but then I just started taking 3 a turn. So it didn't really work. I will say though, the fun part of the game for me was just playing the puzzle box and seeing what happened.
Yeah, that was
kind of awesome.
That was very interesting.
If you don't know, the puzzle box basically says at the beginning of your turn, you draw your card and then you put all of the cards in your hand on the bottom of your deck and draw that many cards from the top.
Right.
So you basically can't really play to the next turn. You sort of just have to play as you get the cards and hope that it's good.
You have to assume like, all right, I'm just gonna need this now.
Yeah,
which really threw a control deck off, kind of.
It did a little bit, and that was sort of what I was hoping for.
Yeah,
but it didn't help enough, unfortunately.
Right. I mean,
but it was really cool.
Yes, they were fun.
They were fun decks. I had fun losing, which doesn't normally happen. I'm normally a pretty bad loser, but
as am I. But
I enjoyed that one, honestly.
They were fun games.
Yeah.
Just because I got to beat you for once.
Not for once. You beat me a lot.
Remains to be seen. We'll see. We also didn't we play with a commander deck at one point?
Oh,
yeah, we don't have to.
We don't need to talk about that. It lost against a commander deck. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
it was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
It was fun though, and that's what counts. I think the takeaway, if I had to say, is try stuff. Don't be afraid to try stuff, even if it doesn't work. It's still fun to just play around and see what happens.
Definitely.
It's not always about winning. If you're a competitive player, maybe that's a little different. But like, if you're just playing casual Magic, which we do pretty often, I would say.
That's true.
It's not necessarily about who's winning and losing. It's about just building a cool deck.
No.
And seeing if you can get that combo off, seeing if you can win a game or two if you really are into that. But really just having a good quality game. I think my favorite games are the ones that just go on forever. And you really don't know who's going to win. And honestly, a week later, you don't remember who won. It was just a fun game. You just remember that moment in the game where it was like, all right, this is going to be a good one. And that's the takeaway. I would say I'm only saying that because I lost. But
right. So let me tell you about the sweet taste of victory.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, they were great though. And deck building, of course, is something that I love to do.
Yeah.
Kevin, that you love to do.
Absolutely.
It's half of Magic is really thinking about what you need to put together, what you want to put together. So.
And I think it's important to don't discourage brewing decks. Even if you are a competitive player, if you look at a deck like Lantern Control, everybody shudders. In Modern, if you're the Lantern Control player, you're happy about it. If you're not, you know what I'm talking about. But if that was designed just by some, I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately. If anybody does, comment below the guy's name. But he just brewed that deck, and played it, and it did great. It became a fairly large presence in Modern.
And it's still pretty...
It's still in there.
Yeah.
It's not maybe quite at the level that it was initially, just because of the hype around it is a little bit lower. It's also really not fun to play against.
Definitely
It
not.
is so annoying to play against.
It's Leovold for Modern, so...
A little bit.
I mean, honestly.
But it is a cool deck, and he just brewed that, right? Like, I'm not...
With, like, to be note, a lot of uncommon cards.
Yeah, not cards that you would generally think of playing at all.
Like, I mean, the rarity, uncommon.
No,
like,
I know. Yeah, exactly. But, you know, it's a cool deck. You can come up with cool decks. They may not be tier 1 competitive viable, but that's not to say that a deck out there, you know, hasn't been brewed yet, but it could be good. It could be out there. So
there's a Griffin tribal within you all.
There's not a Griffin tribal within you all. Don't listen to Will.
I need you to raise your hands. Form the spirit bomb. Griffins!
Oh my gosh. If somebody makes a competitively viable Griffin tribal, please post a link to the list or just the list in the comment section. I want to see that. No, Prove me wrong.
I'll feel it within my heart when it happens.
Probably.
I'll know. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll text you.
It happened.
I'll turn into a Griffin.
All right. But I think that completes just our little casual game coverage. We had a lot of fun with that. We encourage you guys to go out. Again, the way we normally do this is we go online. There's I don't have the website. If we find it, we'll link it in the description. But it's just a website where it picks two to three colors for you. And you can build a deck in those colors, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
so
it's great. It's a great time with your friends. I think we've done it with a bigger group before, where we all had.
I believe so. Yeah. I think 4-player, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
With that being out of the way now,
okay.
Why don't you tell us? First of all, we did a cublet.
We did.
But for those, because I didn't know, why don't you tell us what a cublet is?
Sure. So this was an idea that came out of, I think it's Tap Tap Attack is the show on YouTube. I could be saying that wrong. I don't remember.
You probably are.
I dug up this article from 2014 about some formats that you may or may not have heard of.
Okay.
One of them was Cublet.
Mm-hmm.
Cublet sounds a little like cube.
Weird.
Like a tiny cube. And that's exactly what it is. So you take 100 cards, all right, some amount of land and some amount of other cards, put them together to make one deck, one cube, you could say. 2 players, you set it in the middle, draw 7 cards, each of you from that deck, and you just play a game of Magic. And that's as bare bones an explanation as I can give you.
It's also so in ours, we ran 36 lands, basic lands, and then 64 other cards.
Right.
We did not run any utility lands of any kind, or any special dual lands or anything like that.
Right.
The basic lands count for all colors of mana.
Yes.
So you
like
don't have
to.
So it makes it so you can play everything.
Right.
And then we sort of did an even spread throughout the rest.
Yeah, we picked cards that we'd like in each of the colors, some colorless, some gold, and we just played with them.
And it was amazing.
It was crazy.
It was so good.
Cubes can get insane. As Kevin knows, as I'm sure some listeners know, cubes can get nuts depending on what's in there.
Oh, yeah.
And cublets, you have no idea.
You don't know what you're going to draw and who's going to draw what.
Yeah, I mean, you know there's strong things in there, but... like, even if they're in there.
Yeah, it's like
matter.
You have no idea. You could be giving your opponent something.
Right.
We did find some really cool interactions, which we'll go over, but it was just so much fun.
Yeah. I got stomped. I got crushed.
Well, you won 1 game. We played 3 games.
Oh, yeah, but not by much. But that's fine.
So the first game was a little one-sided, I would say. The first and the last were both one-sided.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
The first one, I took home the win with my turn 1 was, or turn 2, I believe, was a walking ballista.
Yep.
Into like a turn or 2 later, a Viridius Gearhulk.
Yes.
Which pumped the ballista, which was able to then just like shoot stuff. I think you played a young pyromancer, and I was just able to shoot it. Immediately.
You cleared my board and then hit me for like 3 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
because you pathed it or something.
I wanted to get rid of the ballista.
Yeah. So it did some really cool stuff. In the last game, no, the second game, well, the second game we'll put on hold because that was the best one.
Okay, sure.
Let's go with the third game. How did it go for you?
So the last game, much better. Kevin really was just kept off of land, which was fine.
Yeah, that's true.
So I dropped Show and Tell turn 3. Yeah. I had seen his hand already. I played a Thought Seize and took something. I don't remember what.
Liliana of the Veil.
That's right. So I saw
Which felt great, by the way. Wink, wink.
I bet.
No, it felt terrible.
I'm sorry. I've seen his hand. I know it's in his hand, so I drop a Show and Tell. I knew he's gonna put out Queen Marchesa, excuse me.
From Conspiracy Take the Crown.
Right, Queen Melissa.
Queen Betty.
So he drops Black Betty. I drop the Red Gear Hulk. The name I don't remember. Combustible
Gear
Combustion. Compost. I don't know.
Spontaneous combustion.
The Red Gear Hulk. So you can. Your opponent elects to allow you to draw 3 cards. If they do not, you take the 3 cards off the top of your library, put them into your graveyard, and that player loses life equal to their converted mana cost.
What were those 3 cards?
Kevin, they were 3 lands.
Are you serious?
100%.
Oh, God.
And
that feels bad.
What was great was I desperately needed them because I was at this point on 3, had no more lands. So
had I known that, I didn't know that until just now. Like, I know a lot of people preemptively plan for that. I didn't know until just now, and that makes me mad. And I quit the show.
All right, well, bye.
It's been nice.
All right, I'll finish up here. But I was able then to drop Viridius Gear Hulk.
And pump it to a 10-10.
Yep, pump my first guy to a 10-10.
No big deal.
He's got
first striking 10-10.
Yes. So Viridius has trample. Other guys got first strike. So there's no profitable blocks for Kevin, really.
Nope.
So
nothing at all.
I mean, I just pounded his face. That's all. Like, nothing more to be said. I put down fat guys, and they did fat things.
There was a glimmer of hope in my mind.
Okay.
Having not known what you had in your hand. Basically, when he attacked with both of the Gear Hulks, I, with the Queen, blocked the Viridius Gear Hulk because the Queen has Death Touch, so it would at least trade and leave only 1 threat. Obviously, I took a large amount of damage from that, but only 1 threat is easier to deal with that does not have trample.
True.
So,
right.
On my next turn, I had Mother of Runes, and I was like, well, I don't want to just throw away Mother of Runes, but it's the only play I had. I didn't get a land, so I didn't really have any other options. Right. I think the only other option was a Monastery Mentor, which my thought was, let me hold on to this until I can get another guy out with him, and then maybe, come up with some extra advantage that way. So I played Mother of Runes and pass, thinking, okay, I've got at least a blocker, so I might last a turn. Yeah. And then you just path it and won.
Yeah.
That was exactly what happened.
I mean, removal is removal. It's great.
I didn't draw it, as it turns out. But I had a 50% chance to.
Sort of.
Theoretically.
I'm not a math major. I can't tell you all this stuff. But anyway.
Yeah. So that was the last game. A little one-sided towards you. The first one was a little one-sided towards me.
Yeah.
But
the second
game was amazing.
An epic match.
I
easily had the early game in my pocket, and I thought I was fine.
Yeah.
Was not fine.
So we found some interactions, which were really interesting. Basically, Will had a Breemaz out. I played Slumdog.
Yes.
Dragonlord Silumgar. Stole the Breemaz.
Yeah, that made me sad.
That made him sad for a turn.
Yeah.
Where bummed. On the next turn, he played Phyrexian Metamorph, copying Slumdog.
Yes.
So he took the Slumdog back, which also gave him back Breemaz.
Yes.
So we just kept stealing each other's board is essentially what happened. But I had... First of all, I played a Worm Coil Engine.
Yep.
Earlier in the game, I played a Birthing Pod.
So Kevin had already won.
Well, yeah. So let it be known also, before I went and tutored up a creature, I didn't know. I thought Dragonlord Atarka was in there, but I didn't know of anything else that was in the cube that I could have gotten. It turns out Dragonlord Atarka was the only thing in the cube that I could have gotten, which is fine, because that was perfect.
You know what I forgot?
What's that?
We didn't give you your Worm Coil tokens either, even though you sacked it.
Well, you should have. Gave up.
That's true, I did.
Yeah, you did at that point.
I scooped. All right, that was fun.
So basically, you had a Breemaz, you had 2 Slumdogs. I pull out Dragonlord Atarka, Oh, you also had Sarkon.
Yeah.
As a 4/4 flying, dragon.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. And so I pulled out a Tarka, dealt 5 damage immediately to his Phyrexian Metamorph, which gave me control back of Silumgar.
Yeah.
And then I was able to block the Phyrexian Metamorph with the Atarka.
It was rough.
It was amazing. It was such a good interaction.
No, you blocked Sarkon.
Sarkon, I'm sorry. Sarkon, yes.
Yeah. He, in one turn, destroyed my flyers, my board, my one chance to win.
Which, to be honest, you were in a very commanding position.
Well, yeah, it was lethal.
But because of Birthing Pod, I was able to pull that out.
Birthing Pod.
That felt great.
Painful.
But honestly, there was a little bit of back and forth in that game where we were, there were points where I definitely felt like I was in the lead more towards the mid game. Sure. And then you were able to pull ahead. And the early game, of course, you were in the forefront as well.
Well, Brimaz will do that.
Yeah, Brimaz is amazing.
He's a fun guy.
I think on that game, I also was able to get Ballista out with the Viridius Gearhulk.
Again, yeah.
And then I was able to shoot a bunch of stuff because you had a Monastery Mentor.
I did. You took that, Hanger back, and some tokens.
Yeah, so I was able to clear a little bit off thanks to Ballista, which is just a great card. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's in every standard deck right now that's doing well, except we'll talk about that tomorrow. Yeah,
we'll talk about that tomorrow. But there is also Ballistas in like Legacy or something like that right now.
Oh, that's right. They were in I don't remember the deck we looked at.
Oath of Druids, something? Maybe. I don't know.
Not
Oath.
It was the
Punishing Fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
A very, very good card. It definitely paid off for me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
It was good.
But the games were really fun. Again, a little one-sided for the most part, but I do think we might have rushed building the cube just a bit.
Definitely.
So I think if we took some time to balance it.
My big takeaway is what Kevin just said: balance, balance, balance. If you're gonna play a cubelet, just balance has to be at the forefront of your mind.
Absolutely.
You've got really no strategy other than what's in your hand. You can cross your fingers and hope that you draw something, but other than what's on the board, what's in your hand, you've got nothing to hope for.
Yeah.
So if one player is far ahead, they just draw a bomb, that's
you can take over.
Yeah, that's one less thing for that other player. There's no way he can get that.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Unless
you Phyrexian Metamorph it.
Well, true.
But
yeah, still.
I would definitely say
balance.
The all-stars of the cubelet were definitely the cards that impacted the board immediately.
Yep.
Something like a Monastery Mentor is a great card, but in a cubelet, it's not at its best because you are focusing more on just big bombs that are going to just destroy the game. And you can get a few tokens out of it, as you did.
Yeah.
But it doesn't impact the board immediately if it's just on turn 3 or something like that. It's fine, but not amazing.
Right. So essentially, by skipping the draft in a cube, everything is. I feel like there's things pull apart in like the power level. Like Mentor, who is good in a cube, is now much worse.
I think you're right.
Virtuous Gearhulk, who is good in a cube, is now much better.
Yeah, because you really don't get to build around anything.
Right.
You don't get the option to say, okay, well, I picked Monastery Mentor, so now I'm going to pick a bunch of cheap cantrips or something, or counters magic to boost it. You just kind of have to hope that you get that. Which we did play a couple tutors. I know we had Mystical Tutor, Birthing Pod for creatures, obviously, and things like that. Which are fine, and you can tutor up some pieces that you may or may not need, which is fine. You can also set up some really funny draws. We realized with stuff like either with Ponder, with Preordain, even with Mystical Tutor, you can just tutor up something really silly. We put a Thieves Auction in the cube. I had it like 2 of the games. I think I had it.
I know you had it the first game. Yeah.
And I could have played it, but didn't because I was just in such a winning position at the time. It didn't make sense. And the last game, I just couldn't play it. I only had like 4 lands or something. Right. So, but it was really, really funny to put stuff like that. I think that sort of leads into my other point with this is that there is like the sky's the limit with a cubelet like this because you can do it. Only takes 100 cards, not even 100 cards. You just need roughly 60 cards. And you can make this happen. And what's cool about that is you can make a popper one. You can do a chaos cubelet where you just put like crazy stuff like Thieves Auction, like Possibility Storm, like all these random cards that just do silly things.
Shout out to Goblin Game.
Yeah.
If any of you know what Goblin Game does,
you win.
You get an extra point.
Yeah, we'll keep track. No, we won't. But it was really fun, and I actually really am excited to try this format again. Maybe with a little more balance or a little more focus. Maybe I'd really like to do a chaos one.
Yeah, that'd be. That'd be.
I think that'd be so fun. But just it felt a lot like Commander to me.
Really?
I know that sounds a little weird, but I think because I got in the mindset of 100 card deck, we're playing Commander. But that's not actually the case, obviously. But it felt a little bit like that because you really do get to do some just crazy things that you wouldn't normally think of. Which is basically what Commander is.
You're right. I can see why you think that.
Yeah. I actually don't really play Commander.
No, not a ton.
Not yet. I'd really like to.
Something we're trying to break.
We need to get a play group together.
Buddy old pal. So shout out if anyone knows where we are in our area.
If anybody knows where we are, I think we posted it somewhere, but I'm not going to tell you where.
No, it's on Twitter. Go follow us on Twitter. But yeah, we had a couple fun games.
Yes.
A couple fun things to do.
I'd encourage any 2-player, just 2 friends, to try a cubelet. If you've got a little bit of a collection, you don't need much. I'd encourage you to try this.
Definitely.
It's really fun, and it's a great way to play something that isn't just your standard game of Magic with just one-on-one, a one-on-one sort of gameplay, whereas... a normal cube, usually you have to have 4, 6, 8 people.
Yeah, because there's that drafting portion. And it doesn't take much time at all. If you've already got it made,
really doesn't. Yeah.
You just bring it. There it is. So
you only have to shuffle one deck.
That's true. It's a big one, but, if you play Commander, it doesn't even matter. But yeah, if you've got time and you just want to have a fun game, cubelet.
Give it a shot. I
think it's the way to go.
Let us know what kind of cubelets you make. I'd be interested to hear. And what some all-stars are. If you guys... find some cards that tend to be amazing in every game. We'd love to hear about them. Birthing Pod, maybe.
Who knows if that's good? It remains to be seen.
Who knows? Yeah, no, it was awesome. But yeah, encourage you to try it. Very, very fun. We're going to be doing it again.
Yeah.
Very soon, I think.
Right now.
All right, bye.
No, but really.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, is there...
we got one more segment.
Oh.
We got one more segment. If you are following us on Instagram, or if you've watched listened to the last couple episodes, pardon me, I guess you watch on YouTube.
No, you don't. We don't move. Yet.
Hint, hint. Yes, we are cracking a pack. We have relatively new gold cards as of the last, 2 episodes or so.
Yeah. A few weeks.
My gold card.
Go ahead.
Is I think a really good one. It might take a while, but Gideon of the Trials, the new Gideon. It's not the best thing in the world, but I just want to see what I can do with it.
Sure,
that's all. I think it's a cool card. A 3-drop Planeswalker tends to be okay in my book.
All right,
we'll say
that's fair. Yeah.
Shout out to Ashiok for being amazing.
Well, Ashiok is way better than Gideon.
Yes, in like every way.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is exceptional.
Except mana cost. 2 colors, my friend.
Yeah, but still.
not even close.
You're telling me
Ashiok's amazing.
I'll take him off your hands if you think it that bad. I don't know.
All right, what is your gold card?
I'm looking for Combat Celebrant.
A very cool card.
Standard being mostly aggro. I want to go for something punching up in your face.
All right.
And adding more combat steps to a deck that's punching in your face.
Seems all right.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for Combat Celebrant. Also a mythic. So
yeah, so we are sort of on the same level.
We might be here for a while.
Yeah, we might be on these for a while. But we do post all of these gold cards to our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah. If you have them, tell us and rub it in our faces.
Yeah.
I'll be real bummed.
Take pictures and send it to us. Be like hashtag
you suck.
I win. You suck.
It resolves rules.
Yeah.
My name rules. Whatever.
But yes, so with that, we're gonna open up our packs here.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
What did you get?
I got one of the new dual lands, which I'm actually not too unhappy about, although this is like the worst one. Scattered Groves, the green-white dual land. If you don't know, you can play it and it enters the battlefield tapped, or you can cycle it for 2 colorless to draw a card.
To hit your land drops, right?
To hit your land drops that don't come into play tapped.
But really.
I actually kind of like these only because they are fetchable. And they also provide cycling in the late game, which means your lands, if you've got just an excessive number of lands, you're not as unhappy to draw this because you can cycle it and hopefully get something else. At least you get another draw step, see what you can find. But again, in green-white, I'm not too stoked about it.
Oh, you don't like Selesnya?
I mean, I like it, but no.
Well, all right then. Let's see what I got. On that note. No, that's not it. But
oh, a cool card.
Yeah, Kevin really likes it.
I do.
Shout out to our first episode. We pulled this.
Did we pull it on our first?
Yeah, we pulled one of these on our first episode. We got another one. This is Prowling Serpapard.
It's a cat snake.
The cat snake. I just noticed he's got little legs. I thought he was like a big old worm.
He's a cat snake, not just a snake.
No,
man.
I thought his head was a cat. But the rest of him was a snake. But now look.
Dude, it's got a tongue sticking out of it.
Right. That's the snake part, but the rest of it's like...
This is what the show needs to be all the time, by the
way. us poorly describing magic cards. Look, it's green and there's whiskers on it. It's a cat snake. So it's a 4/3 for 3. It says, Prowling Serpapard can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered.
Which seems great to me.
It's awesome.
I really like this card.
It's fantastic.
It's great against control decks.
Yeah.
You just kind of win.
You can probably construct a like an untouchable green stuff deck.
Yeah.
If you want. Selesnya beaters, maybe.
I think I talked at one point about my green-white good stuff deck on MTGO. And it plays stuff like Loxodon Smiters and Mistcutter Hydras just to get around some of the blue. It gives you a favorable matchup. And with something like this that gives it to uncounterable to everything, you like that's amazing. Yeah, I mean that's kind of awesome.
There is one downside. Kevin, what's it die to?
I think it dies to bolt.
You'd be correct, sir. It dies to bolt.
Yeah, which is important to note.
But it's a great way to balance a set, though. Rosewater. Yeah, hats off to you.
Way to be there, Rosewater.
Make everything seem strong, but really,
then actually it just dies to bolt.
All right.
With that, I think we are going to get out of here. That concludes our casual kitchen table format day.
The fun day, Thursday.
The fun day. Actually, no, we can't say it's the fun day because that's Sunday.
We already have a fun day. You're right.
But we do encourage you guys to go out there, play some magic, casual magic if you are so inclined. Try a cubelet. Let us know what you come up with.
Please do. Guys, my name is Will.
My name is Kevin.
We've been It Resolves. Resolve.